taking a look at the Mexican blanket micarta and how it basically, after several washings, it's usually about every 3 or 4 weeks, that I will re-oil these back up with mineral oil. Just want to give folks a chance to see what it will, wear like in between when you just use soap and water. This does not run through the dishwasher, nor should it. It says it on the box, so do not. But yeah, just a chance to look at that micarta before I go ahead and oil it up. To freshen up micarta, I just utilize just this food grade mineral oil. You can order this on, you can see it's starting to peel away. You can order this on Amazon. I want to say it was like $8 for the entire bottle, but you can see I've used it a fair bit. We're going to go ahead and oil up this Nicholas Knives. Oops, let me get a little bit more of that. Set that over there. And just get a nice amount in there. You can see it start to freshen up the colors a fair bit. It's a nice thing. You can over soak it if you want, but then I find that I have to end up cleaning off or wiping off that much more of the oil, whereas if I just take the extra minute or so up front, work it in there, it looks so much better, restores it a little bit. Obviously it's going to protect that micarta as well, so that's pretty good there. I think we'll just do it with that. One quick twist off, and yeah, that's, you can see how much better that micarta looks. All the dry spots from the cloth of that one, gone away. So yeah, that's just something to do anytime you have micarta, that you're running through soap and water, that sort of thing. And definitely a good thing for the knife. Good thing for this one, it refreshes the color back up about every 3 weeks. So I'll go ahead and put this away, and we'll get that ready to start that review. What's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to be talking about the Nicholas Nichols Knives Santoku. Santoku, Japanese translation for 3 virtues. Some people say the 3 virtues are meat, fish, and vegetables. Others say they are chopping, slicing, and dicing, which to me is 2.5, because dicing is basically chopping, rotating 90 degrees, and then chopping again, and potentially another 90 degrees. So it could even be like 2.3. But I'll leave that up to the mathematicians and definers to come up with that one. In terms of a comparison knife for this one, the alternative that we've been running with for a long time in our kitchen is the Shun 5.5-inch Santoku. And this particular Santoku has pack-a-wood handles. It weighs 5.5 ounces. 5.3 ounces. It prices at $180, and they call the core of this one, it is in fact a Sanmai, but they call the core of this one VMAX. I believe it's, or VG Max. I believe it's essentially VG10. So we're talking about VG10. Good stainless steel, holds a good edge, easy enough to sharpen. So that's kind of some of the alternatives. Let's go ahead and hold these side by side. The Shun has a thinner handle. The Nicholas Nichols is a thicker handle, and it also has a nice little swell for the palm. So I do like that one. It does also have a nice little pinch area. You can see that up here. Very, very handy for the thumb and in that pinch grip there. It is a full tang construction versus the Shun is basically a through tang, obviously, because it has the wood that goes through the end, and it has that end cap with brass ring on it. And you could also notice one of the things, I'll go ahead and lay these down again. One of the big differences out of the gate is really the Shun has a just over 5.5 inch edge, and the Nicholas Nichols Santoku is just short of a 5-inch edge. So we'll be talking about that a little bit later. This knife sports a 4.9-inch blade of Nitro V steel, which is a nice, good all-around stainless steel, good for the kitchen. This is not a knife that is to be run through the dishwasher, so do not do so, and I did not in terms of my use for this one. But I do appreciate the full tang construction here. This has taken one drop in the kitchen, I can say for certain, and had to do a little bit of tip work. We got a little bend there, but it did not snap off, so was able just to kind of do a little bit of bend back and a little bit of tip treatment to take care of that. Again, this one weighs 6.0 ounces, and this one prices at $300. This is a custom-made in the U.S.A. knife, and again, this one has the one I chose is the Mexican blanket micarta. Is beautiful. I've already gone ahead and cut in at the front side of this how to kind of take care of that with some mineral oil. In terms of the pros of this knife, one of the things that I absolutely really love about this, I didn't get it as much in the beginning, but as I began to use it a little bit more, this knife has a full distal taper, which means that it starts a little bit thicker down here, and it was closer to like 2.5 millimeters, and then about in the middle it's about 2.3, and then as it moves up, it thins out to the very top, and up here it is literally like 1.1 to 1.2 millimeters. So if you do need to do some sort of fine chopping for that distal taper works really well. In fact, I can demonstrate how that kind of does work. Is this one certainly makes a nice thin cut. It is not quite as thin as the Shun as far as the blade stock, and it can certainly cut thin. But if you move up to that very tip there, you can literally cut like laser thin. It's tough to do kind of under this camera here, but yeah, there's a pretty good one. This is literally a laser thin piece of cork there. So yeah, that was definitely kind of one of the surprises of this knife that I didn't really have an idea. But that full distal taper is really a good thing. It also has a crown spine. Absolutely love that. If you need to push down to get through something hard, if you need to bear down with your thumb on that, yeah, the crown spine, the Shun does not have that. And you're not going to find a lot of actually kitchen knives that do have that. I haven't, in terms of just kind of off-the-shelf stuff. So yeah, the crown spine, fantastic. Makes marvelous comfort. The micarta scales, not only are they beautiful, and the beauty is actually one of those things of this, so I'll just kind of intertwine the two, but not only is it beautiful, but as it gets wet, either with water or oil, chicken grease or whatever, animal fat, it actually gets stickier. So it's a very well done micarta too, and the grip just even gets better as it gets wetter. Right now it's actually a little bit more smooth, and again, as it gets wetter, it gets better. So that's a really good thing that you're going to be talking about in the for kitchen use. I already talked about the full tank construction. Really good. Has taken a bounce, and I just I get a really solid feel about this one. If you really need to bear down into something a little bit, you're going to probably want to be using a cleaver if you're going to be breaking through bone and a lot of ligament. But you know what? If you have to go through edges of a chicken, really handy. So yeah, a lot of good things going for it. And then really the last thing that for me is a fantastic actually item is this handle. It not only is it a little bit wider and thicker, the Shun is just a little bit smaller in my hand. I can go ahead and demonstrate that. But yeah, it's just a little bit small in my hand. Better for my wife. She does have much smaller hands. But this one's perfect for me. And actually her hand has no problem fitting this. So a lot of great things going on for it. In terms of the cons of this knife, unfortunately, I would say it's probably about 1 inch too short, maybe a half an inch. And if I could have just a little bit longer, but without having to go to the full-size chef's knife, it would almost be the perfect utility knife. And I kind of ran into this on the front side montage when, I'd expect a full knife to go, have to be used to cut the cauliflower in half. But even with just a half of a head of cauliflower, it was a little bit unwieldy to work around just to get through that. Once I got into smaller bits and pieces, not a problem. The size actually didn't come into play. But really, it's like, I think about, I'd like to maybe be able to cut through a Napa cabbage or a green cabbage, something like that. And I think if I just had that 1 extra inch, I could do that really easy and rotate through that. So I think it's just a smidgen short for me to be on the perfect side. And then last thing I did want to talk about is it does come with this nice taco case, and then you just have basically this little paper sheath, and no problems with that as far as the shipping thing. But as far as the reality of putting this in the drawer with other knives in the kitchen is I'm not going to put in this big monster thing also because it's going to retain water and keep moisture in. So I would rather almost just trade this out. And that nice case, it's like I said, it's really great for presentation, but it's for literally using this thing and then putting it into a drawer, gently washing it. I will demonstrate that. Yeah, I don't know if it shows up well on this, But you know, it would probably be better to wash in this direction because it has some beautiful satin grinds on it. We just happen to use one of those green scratch pads, and you know, especially to get stuff off of there. So it has developed a little bit of a scratch pattern on that, you know, on that blade, creating a crosshatch. Not a big deal. I would, back to the last con here, is I would rather just kind of sacrifice some of that shipping stuff and instead have maybe like just a taco Kydex piece, just a small little piece that I could put this into Kydex and then kind of roll it around in the drawer. My card is not going to get hurt. The Nitro V steel is good, strong. You know, it's not, it does fine living with other knives, but I would just like to, I'd rather have that, you know, so I'm protecting the blade. It did strop up nice, really well, and I only had to sharpen it, you know, maybe once every couple months or so. So on the whole, this is a really good next level custom knife. Made in the USA by an actual person named Nick Nichols, and it's really well done. I really like it. If you know, if you want just that little bit smaller knife and you're okay with a 5-inch cutting edge, this is probably a perfect kitchen utility knife. Truly, and the price. Some people might balk and say, "What, $300 for a kitchen knife?" No, this one. I mean, you're talking about a Shun is $180. And I would give this one on materials in most facets. Really, I would give the edge to this one for the most part. And I actually really did like it. It's just more fun to handle, and I really did just kind of preferred it. So for me overall, it's a good value. It's a very good value. So you can head on over to Nicholas Nichols Knives.com. This is not to be, you know, I'm not a salesman for him or anything. I just bought this off of his website, but it is a really, really good kitchen utensil. A great gift, I think, for somebody too. And yeah, this is definitely kind of a knife that I see lasting probably essentially the rest of my lifetime. So hope you did enjoy this. If you did, like and subscribe, and have a great day. Take care now. What's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to talk about the that's hard to say. Nicholas Nichols Knives Santoku. That will be in the outtakes.